Disclaimer. Any of the guidance offered by the podcast host, myself, or the podcast guests is our own guidance. We are not liable for any of the actions the podcast listener decides to do. Welcome back to the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset podcast with me, Johnny Pardo. And today I welcome Kam Dasani to the show. And I'm looking forward to this conversation and where it takes us today. So a quick introduction to Kam. So Kam is the founder of Profit with Kam, where he helps working professionals learn institutional grade algorithmic trading and navigate prop firm funding. After burning out in Silicon Valley, he built a results-driven program with ex-Goldman talent, including rocket scientist Madhul Patel, focused on decision frameworks, risk control, and live mentorship. Kam's goal is to give everyday professionals a professional path to trade with discipline and access capital responsibly. So, welcome to the show today, Kam.
John, I appreciate you going through that tongue twister there. I didn't realize that was the intro. But yeah, man, thanks for having me. And before we jump in, guys, if you haven't left a 5-star review for Johnny in the show, go ahead and do that. I just left mine a few days ago. Johnny, what I love about this show is that you don't only give people actionable steps from experts, but what goes into the mindset behind those steps. Right. And I think that's important for people to understand, because your success and my success, we started just like everyone else. Right. We just made different decisions along the way. And a lot of that comes from mindset. Yeah. Shout out to you, man. You have an amazing show. And thank you for having me.
No, super appreciate that. And I think that's, thank you. Take that in. So thank you for listening and thanks for the shout out there. And I think that's also a very good point, what you made there about, we're human beings at the end of the day, and people have got like different things and different like successes, but yeah, we all kind of like work there with our mindset. So it'd be great to kind of dive into a little bit behind where you've been today. So yeah, Kam, obviously you're doing like trading, you're helping people. I'm honestly struggling with the word algorithmic, but I'm very real here. We say the words like I do. But yeah, obviously you're helping people with trading. But yeah, like I'd love to hear how you got into Silicon Valley, where you were previously.
Yeah, absolutely. So born and raised in the Silicon Valley, you're constantly being exposed to innovation and tech. Okay. My dad is a PhD AI engineer, original background EE, so electrical engineering, but then transitioned into the AI space. And it was just very natural for me to go into the software world after graduating college. Now, for me, just like most people in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I had a gift of communicating with others. And I really liked psychology. I really liked understanding why people think the way they do and make decisions that they do. So I had a career in tech sales, worked my way up the corporate ladder to the enterprise level, where I was basically selling software to Fortune 500 companies, but then realizing like the path doesn't actually take me to the life that I want. Meaning, sure, are there a few Silicon Valley tech guys making $1 million+ a year? Yes, but what does their life actually look like? And it didn't align with what I wanted. And what I mean by that is when you're in the Silicon Valley software world, you're tied to a tier 1 city, which is the San Francisco Bay Area, which is extremely expensive. And you have to go to the office every day. And I'm not saying that these things are bad, but it's just not what I wanted. And what I really wanted was to do something where I could be remote, travel and work at the same time, and actually explore the world past just like 2 weeks of paid time off. And that's what really took me out of that world into exploring other options. Johnny, I'm sure you and I both, we tried a lot of things, right? We've tried a lot of things until we found that thing that really worked. And trading was that thing for me.
And how did you find that transition from this like really good or perceived potentially real good kind of like career, which like you said, it could be great for many people, just wasn't right from you, to like doing your own thing completely? Because I know a lot of people are scared of taking these risks and these jumps of faith.
Yeah. So what's interesting is when I first started like my journey of entrepreneurship, I backed out of it multiple times. Like I would start something and then like my parents talk me out of it, or like my friends would talk me out of it. And I cared a lot about what other people thought. And I just kept like beating myself up and lacking confidence because I wasn't living up to the person I wanted to be. I wasn't actually trying. My first sales manager in tech was a crypto trader crypto investor, and options trader as well, options on the US stock market. And he was teaching me these things. And the first thing he taught me that paid off to this day that I'm happy I didn't back out of was, hey, you need to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and you need to hold on to these for 5 years. And everyone's going to make fun of you. Everybody's going to laugh at you. Everybody's going to think you're getting scammed. And then several years down the road, you're going to wake up and be really, really happy that you didn't back out of it. And obviously from 2017 to now, I was correct on that prediction. And so was everybody else that invested in crypto early. Once I realized like during that time that like crypto was like going up and crypto was real and you can really make money in the space, I started exploring the second thing that he had taught me, which was options trading. And that's when I started going to these conferences and started meeting people and just networking. And I met Mehul, ex-Goldman Sachs, one of the best traders that I've ever seen behind a computer screen. And his goal was to always present a mentorship to other people that were looking to either one, make more money than their 9 to 5, or completely escape their 9 to 5 and just like do what I wanted to do, right? We partnered up and his skill set and mine brought this to the world. And now we're helping hundreds and hundreds of people escape the corporate rat race and really attain true financial, not only financial freedom, but time freedom and location freedom as well.
I love that. So kind of like that's a big thing for you, helping people get that freedom in life ultimately, or kind of where they want to be. So that's part of your mission at the moment, it sounds like. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean, I don't see why you would live any way else, but the reality is a lot of people just settle because, once again, the same reasons that I was talking myself out of things, right? Because I cared what other people thought, but in reality, all of that is perception, right? If you can just not care what people think and pursue what you want to pursue, you'll realize that people aren't even thinking about you as much as you think, which is like kind of like a mind fuck for people because they're like, I care so much about the opinion of people that don't matter. They're not even in my life that much. I care so much about people on social media potentially hating on my posts or commenting negative things. But in reality, anybody who's doing that, they just want the life that you have. That's why they're putting that negative energy onto you, because they don't have what they want. So they're upset to see somebody else succeeding, actually chasing their dreams and their passions.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think the one of my mentors called it the goop, the good opinion of other people that we have. We get scared of it and like moving forward. So it sounds like you taking a leap of faith and encouraging others. So are you supporting people with getting the right finances together or through trading so that they can live that ideal life? Is that the idea?
So there's a couple ways that we trade. The first way is called futures trading. And for people that don't know, in a very simple way to explain, all you're doing when you're trading futures is you're predicting what's going to happen to a stock by a certain date. We do that in a very, very short time frame, just like the biggest hedge funds in the world. And my partner, Mehul Patel, is the person that taught me this. He learned this at Goldman Sachs. Now, the benefit to the way that we trade futures, and a lot of people say trading is risky, right? So I want to get into that like topic. Trading is risky depending on how you actually define risk. Now, the futures industry has something called prop firms, which nobody really knows about unless you're like in the trading world already. But the way prop firms work is they give money to traders that are worth giving money to. Then you are able to use that money to make trades. And if you win, you keep 80% of the profit. If you lose, guess what? You don't owe anybody anything. And people think, no way, that's too good to be true. Because if I borrow 20 grand from Chase, the bank, I got to pay that back at some point. We both know that. But that's not how the prop firm industry works. The prop firm industry, they make money betting on good traders and then give them money to leverage. There's only upside to trade with that money. The only catch is if you lose more than 3% of whatever they give you, then they'll just take their money back and you have to pass their evaluation again, which we can get into what that means in a second. But bottom line, you are able to become a good trader by learning from people that used to work at Goldman Sachs, hence Mehul Patel, and then get access to a bunch of leverage capital that ultimately takes risk out of the equation.
Sounds like a really good approach to kind of get into trading, because I know a lot of people have the perception that it's really complicated, very risky.
Once again, it depends how you define risk, right? So Mehul has 4.5 million in prop firm capital that he's leveraging. That doesn't mean he's trading with 4.5 million every trade, but right now we're actually doing a challenge on Instagram. He's trading with 900K. That means he's literally leveraging 900K. When he wins, and think about it this way, if you enter a trade with $500 versus 900K, if you both win, who do you think is going to make more money? Obviously, the person with 900K. Now, if you trade with your own capital and you lose, then yeah, you lose your own $500. But if you trade with 900K and you lose more than 3%, they'll just take their money back. You don't owe them anything and you can try again. So prop firms basically just take bets on traders and take all the responsibility.
Wow. Even if that trader, does that trader have to have some experience?
They just have to pass their exam. What their exam is basically a challenge that they create. They'll basically give you 50K to start of like fake money, demo money. And they'll say, hey, show us you can get this trading account to 50K in the next 5 days. As long as you can do that, which once again, like you said, complicated is another word you use. Only 1% of traders pass these prop firm exams because most people try to like go on YouTube, fumble around and figure it out on their own. But they're competing with guys like me and Mehul who really know this space. And Mehul even more than me, who taught me everything. If you worked at Goldman Sachs and you built algorithms for Goldman, which is what Mehul has done, it's going to be very hard to like compete with him because on every trade, there's a winner and a loser, right? So you can be on the retail side of things like most people, but Mehul is at the top of the retail side of things. Yes, he's competing with institutions, but he knows what he's doing because he's been doing this for 10 years.
So you kind of, that's interesting. So how does someone like bounce back when they've had like a tough day in trading?
Yeah, so I'll say this. The most important qualities to actually become a good trader don't have anything to do with trading itself. They have to do with your brain. They have to do with your body. The same traits and qualities that professional athletes have is what you need to have as a trader. You need to eat right. You need to sleep well. You need to manage your emotions. You need to have grit. You need to have discipline. You need to know when to take your wins and take your profits and not get too greedy. You need to learn how to cut your losses. We cut losses at 10%, right? We don't let anything, and sometimes things go down to 20 and they come, or 30% loss, and then they come around and bounce back. But when we play by our system consistently, we continue to win. So to answer your question, it's just about creating guidelines for yourself. And we've created those guidelines for ourselves and our clients, and it continues to pan out for us because we are following a system that it's not just about, hey, I need to win, win, win. It's about, let me build these habits to become the best trader I can be, because this is just like a professional sport where you're competing with the next guy.
I really like what you said about making sure you're eating right, you're sleeping right, not because you think, okay, you're just like doing something maybe with a computer, although obviously there's a lot of mental game, but like training like you're an athlete, I think that's a really good one. And kind of think like the top entrepreneurs and business people do that as well. They train like athletes all the time.
It's extremely important. Like when I look at people that do not prioritize their health and they're really focused on money, they're not going to beat me financially. And when I say that, it's like, I'm not like competing, but like, it's just very hard to look at somebody and respect them even on a discipline level and think like, I want to do business with this person if he doesn't think his health is important, right? Even on another tip, right? On a social life, on a dating life tip, if you think that money is so important that it's going to solve all of your dating problems, I hate to break it to you, you're wrong. Like if you can't walk up to a woman in a coffee shop, that's the skill that you're missing. And no matter what Rolex you're wearing or what diamonds you have or what car you're driving, you still have to open your mouth. So I don't respect people, and I know this is a harsh thing to say, but that don't understand that there are pillars to life and you need to work on all of them if you want the life you want. And the people that I surround myself with care about the big three: health, wealth, financially, and building a social life and social circle or relationships with the opposite sex that can amplify your life. I think it's all important.
Not just like neglecting it. What do you find for you personally helps you with your health pillar? Or anything? Because I know we're all different, but I'd be curious into yours a little bit.
For health specifically, yeah. So I played basketball at a high level in high school. I was supposed to play in college, but I hurt my back. And ever since then, I had no reason to train. Meaning I was like, okay, I'm not training or working out for the sport anymore. So what's the point, quote unquote? What's the point? For me, having a trainer and having meal prep is the thing that took me from getting back surgery and being very, very out of shape and literally 20 pounds overweight and like bloated face, bloated gut, just brain fog, just not feeling good. like anxiety all the time, drinking a bunch. Having a trainer that I can go to and just turn my brain off, because I am using my brain for very high level things all day. I want to go to the gym and have somebody tell me what to do. That's important to me. And like, it's worth it. It's very worth it. Like, even the new trainer I'm working with, Trevor Wilson, shout out to him. I lost like 12 pounds of fat in 2.5 weeks. We tracked it just by following his chef's meal plan and having the food in the fridge and showing up to the gym. I just had to drive there. And I think that takes a lot of the hard work out of it. Like, damn, now I have to be motivated. No. Pay the trainer. He'll motivate you. Your money leaving your pocket will motivate you. You'll go. You'll go to the gym. So those are the things. And honestly, one last thing that I'm thinking about now, having a fiance that's an NBA dancer. It's time to keep up. Like, what's the alternative? Be fat and slow? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Love that. Fiance is the. What about for your mind? Is there anything you find useful? Like, I love that fitness regime and what you're doing there. Is there anything like mentally you find for preparing each day or winding down each day?
Yeah. Waking up, I've made gratitude very, very natural for me. And when I was going through like ups and downs in my life, like severe ups and downs, and when I say severe, it wasn't like the situation was severe, it was severe in my mind though. Why was it severe in my mind? Because I had no baseline for where I was at any point. What I mean by that is, if I was having a bad day in corporate, it would hurt me emotionally. I'd be, oh, my day sucks, now I gotta go work out. Then I got to go home and do it all over again the next day. So that's in my head. That's a story I'm telling myself. That's why people feel bad, is because they tell themselves the wrong things. Now I wake up, and actually since my last big depression, which was during COVID, because it was like the first isolation, it was crazy, I was still in tech, all this stuff. Waking up and just finding things to be grateful for. Well, I don't have anything to be grateful for, people say. You do, you just don't think about them. Like, I wake up, and every day now, it's just so natural. I'm like talking to God, and I'm like, this is a great life. Thank you for giving me this life. I go on a walk in the mornings. I think that's important. Get some sunlight, right? Just for like from a chemistry perspective. But like, gratitude will change your life. It'll set up your day for success beyond your wildest dreams. And by the 4th day, you'll feel it. So if you can do it for 4 days and then tell me like, oh, like it didn't work, cool. Do it for 4 days though. If you actually try, it'll work.
I love that. It's interesting. That comes up a lot for people. And I think, it's no coincidence it comes up for people who are really like high performers and doing these extreme things, and it's really helping them. And that comes up in quite a few of the wealth books as well, of like a reoccurring pattern of like the power of gratitude. So I love that. And yeah, you don't need loads of money, do you? Like, I obviously loads of money is awesome, but you could just look at other things like your health and just being here. So there's so many things to look for.
Even on the topic of money, right? What is loads of money? It's all about what you decide is worth it. Like, I know 8-figure entrepreneurs. I know 9-figure entrepreneurs. I heard you on your last episode. I don't know if it was your last episode, but recent one. You're like, hey, I'm not a multi-millionaire. I know what that means. That means you're a single millionaire. That's okay. We won't get into your background. I'm just giving you a hard time. But my point is, for some people, 20 grand a month is enough. It depends on where you live. It depends on what you want. It depends on, do you care about cars? Do you care about flying first class overseas, or are you okay doing coach? For me, I noticed my life started changing at 10K a month. Like the most, like from 0 to 10, it changed the most. When I say 0, I mean like minimum wage to 10, right? I was never making 0, but like regular job to 10K online, cool. Or 10K in corporate even, for that matter. 20K, another big change. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm making like $250,000 a year. Like, this is like upper middle class. Like, this is what that feels like. I can't do everything and everything I want, but this is good. And then 40 a month is like $500,000 a year, basically, right? That's where you start to like realize, okay, I'm pretty comfortable. Then 100K is like, from 40 to 100, like, it doesn't really change to me. Like, it's like, oh, whether you're making 40 or 70, it's like kind of all the same. Like, you're just kind of saving more. 100 is when you're like, okay, like, I can fly first class to Europe and I won't even feel it. I can eat wherever at whatever steakhouse and not feel it. I can kind of like have a bigger house, right, and not feel it. Like, those things matter to me to the point where, and I want to spoil my wife and my kids, because why not, right? So that's why my number matters to me. It's just to live a good life where I'm not wasting money, but I'm still living for the experience that life has to offer us and setting my kids up for a family business that they can run so they don't have to work a job that they hate either.
I love that. Yeah, that was a good transition from gratitude, and I was thinking of kind of like some of the basic stuff that I apply for gratitude, but actually I did really want to cover money. So I love that your kind of like perception of that, and yeah, it's kind of people may feel like have different views of where they want to be, and I love what you're trying to do. What would you say? Because I know it's a very sensitive subject to some people. It's very like, it can be very like scarcity, or like, where's it going to come from? There's a lack of it. Yeah. How do you find like how would you help someone through that who's just very scared about it, scared of money?
Scared of money in what way?
In like, they're constantly just got enough to pay their bills. They're worried about being able to afford things. You know, they're just not comfortable.
Yeah. So I think the majority of people in the world, from what I've seen, make decisions from a place of circumstance, not from a place of vision. Okay. And I see this because when I talk to people that want to work with me sometimes, the people that actually need the most help don't get it because they don't have momentum. Meaning, like, a lot of people say like, hey, like, I only want to work with people that meet this criteria. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, like, I want to work with you if you need the help. The problem though, Johnny, is that like, and people listening to this, if you're at the bottom, understand that there's no risk for you. There's literally nothing to lose. So if my team, like my other team, like has nothing to do with trading, but we help people with this to get them into trading eventually. If your credit is really bad because you made mistakes or you just haven't built credit because nobody taught you how, we will fix your credit. We will repair it / build it. So then you can go to a bank. I'm not going to show my card on the, too many people watch the show. I was going to pull up the Chase card. You go to the bank. It's like too many people watch it. You go to the bank and you say, hey, I have good credit. I would like 20 grand. And they will give it to you the same way they gave it to me. They actually gave me 92,000 from multiple banks, US Bank, Chase, and American Express. Okay. Then you take that money and you use it to work with mentors to help you strategically invest our money. This is exactly what I did for 7 years to become a millionaire. The problem is most people will act and make decisions from a place of circumstance, meaning, no, I can't afford it. What can't you afford? Because you're going to spend the money on liquor or on food or on something. So why not just spend it on fixing your credit? You can go get more money to then move from a place of vision. So that's the brain rewiring that people need to have is, are you moving from a place of circumstance? Or are you moving from a place of vision? You need to move from a place of vision, just like I did, to change your life. It's the only way.
That's an interesting perspective, because the unknown can be very difficult, or not the unknown, the unfamiliar can be very difficult to kind of see. And that's what it sounds like that's what you're talking about with vision. And it's just like looking at what we know and being stuck to that. So being able to see beyond that. Is that right?
Everybody that accomplished anything in this world moved from a place of uncertainty. People think they need to have like 100% confidence in a decision to make it. You don't. If Halle Berry in her prime was in the supermarket, you think any guy would have 100% confidence to go talk to her? No. But the person that's going to get a date with her is going to go do it regardless of that uncertainty. And it's the same thing with the mini steps or the baby steps you need to make in your life. Meaning, you may be uncertain about fixing your credit. Well, guess what? So is everyone else who's poor. If you go do it, you beat them. You just have to push past that fear of pain and understand that I'm supposed to feel pain. I'm supposed to feel fear. This is not supposed to go away. I'm just supposed to act in spite of it. That's literally the definition of courage. If you look it up, courage is moving in bravery despite fear.
Courage
it's the only
is
way.
Moving bravery despite
moving
fear.
In bravery despite fear.
Right, fear.
Yeah.
It's a great definition. And it applies to all areas of life as well. So not just like with money, but all areas. I like the example of Halle Berry in the supermarket as well. That's a good one.
The goal is to see Halle Berry in the supermarket just randomly, right? Like that was the example I used. I've been waiting for 20 years. Exactly.
I love that, Cam. Yeah, Cam, I know you've got, like, you've mentioned a couple of like the services you provide. Obviously, there's the trading and supporting people elsewhere with like, credit, and I know you're doing a lot for the world. Where can the listener find you if they want to reach out, when they want to reach out and find out more about your work and how you may be able to support them? And do you have any final point you want to leave us with today?
Yeah, so easiest place to reach me is on Instagram, Profit by Cam. So Profit by KAM. And send me a DM. And this is specifically for your listeners. I want to release this. I don't do this often. I do this on podcasts that I go on that I really feel like the audience will align with the things that I'm saying. If you DM me self-confidence, and I don't care if you have no stock portfolio, I don't care if you have a big stock portfolio. We will give you a free audit on your stock portfolio, my team of ex-Goldman Sachs traders, if you have one, for free. If you don't have a stock portfolio and would like to have one and learn how to strategically invest, shoot me a DM. And I don't care if you're at the bottom with nothing. I will actually just outline the path for you, because for most people, it's really the same. So final thoughts, since you asked, where are you at on the totem pole? The bottom is here. Credit repair. If you have no money and no credit, you need credit. That's the only way you can get money. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect money to magically appear. Because if the way that you were doing things was right, then you would already have money. And people don't understand that. They're like, oh, I just need to work harder. It's like, no, you don't. What you need to do is fix your credit, go to the bank, get leverage, borrow money, strategically invest it. If you already have good credit, cool. I can take you to Chase and American Express with my personal relationships that I've built there and get you $20,000 or more of funding. I got $92,000 myself 7 years ago, and that's why I'm where I'm at today. Without that leverage, I could not make any sort of decision out of the vision that I wanted or from the vision I wanted without leverage. You need leverage to win the game.
I love that. Leverage to win the game. And yeah, so the best place to find you, that we'll be linking your resources in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for that generous offering, Cam. So yeah, just message Cam the word self-confidence so that he knows you're from the show and he's really providing service. So massive thank you for that, Cam, and for coming on today and everything you're doing.
Johnny, appreciate it. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you. So that concludes today's episode. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.